Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss the steps toward a successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. And today, we're going to be discussing why you need a business coach. I've touched upon this before, but today we're going to hit it a little bit harder. We've got some good content for you, I think. Also, the book I'm reading right now is Leadership Strategy and Tactics by Jocko Willink, retired Navy SEAL officer, cool guy. Great book, Leadership, Strategy, and Tactics. We might touch upon some of those tactics today, for sure. But first of all, if you're satisfied with where you're at today, with status quo, how everything's running in your business, and if it's running extremely smooth and just exactly the way you want it to run, then you don't need to listen to this. So, if you're like me, you're still listening. You're still tuning in because I need all the help I can get. I'll be honest with you. I've had a business coach from the second or third year in business, and I've been in business 31 years. And I'll touch more upon that as well. But if everything's running smooth and you're satisfied with status quo, then you don't need a business coach, and you don't need a board of advisors, and you don't even need a mentor, okay? And that's how a lot of people think, I'll be honest with you. I talk to a lot of different business owners, and they're completely satisfied with where they're at. So, however, if you're overwhelmed, if you feel you're missing the mark, missing the goal, you're seeing other companies growing maybe faster or larger than you are. And if you're lost in business, maybe going in reverse, we've had a couple of those years. I'll be honest with you. We grew every single year for 25 years. And then we had a couple years where we went in reverse. And I can blame it on the weather. I can blame it on a lot of things, but I'll be honest with you, that should never happen. So if you're going in reverse, if your marketing, branding, and advertising just basically sucks, and you just don't know what to do about it, and you thought you were leading, but you turned around to see no followers, then you need a business coach of some sort, and I'll explain more of why you need a really good business coach, not just a business coach. You need a really good business coach, one who has been there, done that, and out-succeeded you by 5 to 10 times. People often ask me, do I need a business coach that's experienced in my industry? Yes and no. I think you should have one or have had one at one time in your career, because it's there. I'm in my industry of HVAC, and I have coached hundreds of HVAC business owners, and it's much easier for me. It's my baby. How I've taken it from $274 in a used truck to a multi-million-dollar business, very successful, number one in our industry. And I've helped companies go from $300,000 to $1 million, from $1 million to $2, $3 million. And I've helped a $15 million business out of Florida who was a third generation company just get their act together and put some systems in place. So I've been there, I've done that, but I also know how far I can go, okay? So I've had some companies call me, I've had some business owners call me, and explained what they were looking for, and I've referred them to someone else because I know my expertise and I know what I do best. And it's no different in McAfee Heating and Air. I know what I do best. We're going to stick with what we do best, and we're going to do better. We're going to do it better than anyone else. So I'm not afraid to pass on coaching someone. I don't have to coach everyone, and it's good to know what you do best, and that comes from also having a good coach to challenge you on what you do best, because not everybody knows what they do best. Okay, I want you to think about these things. Number one, what does a business coach help you with? Number one, accountability, because we all need held accountable. There's not too many people that are just that disciplined to hold themselves accountable in every area of business or every area of their life. And a business coach will hold you accountable. They're really going to save you time, effort, and money. Because when I coach someone and I'm holding them accountable to what they need to be doing in their business, because they set their own goals. I don't set any goals for my the people I coach. They set their own goals. We talk about this from the beginning. You know what? When I coach, we talk about their 3 areas they need help in, and we start there, and we go from there. But they set their own goals. Where do you want to be? I can help you get there. Where do you want to be? Now, a business coach is not some. They don't have a magic wand. They're not going to make your business successful overnight. You've got to put in the effort. You've got to put in the time. No different than a coach in sports. They're going to coach you along the way, but how dedicated are you? How bad do you want it? All that good stuff matters more, okay? I thought about this. Who needs a coach? Well, let me tell you a few people who have had coaches along their career. One of them was Michael Jordan. And not just the basketball coach, but Michael Jordan had a personal coach to coach him along the way to be the best of the best, just like Tiger Woods did, and just like recently retired Tom Brady. All 3 of those guys had coaches. They wanted to be the best. They hired people to hold them accountable. They hired people to that seen more in themselves than they seen in themselves, and that's what a coach can do. So holding accountable, leveraging their talents and abilities, and all that good stuff, but holding them accountable is extremely important. And number 2, to be able to attain goals. A business coach is going to be able to help you attain goals, because they will visualize your goals with you. When I'm coaching someone, I'm right there with them. I'm as excited about growing their business as I'm as excited about growing my own. And I'm right there with them. And I like to see progress. So each time we talk, I'm going to ask, what's the progress here? What's the progress chart? How are we doing? How did that work? Did you see anything from doing that? Did that employee change after we made a little adjustment? So they'll help you attain your goals, and they'll also make sure your goals are the right goals. Because like I said, sometimes we put our goals out of reach, okay? We put our goals out of reach. We have too high of goals sometimes. And then we're very disappointed when we don't hit the goals. And some people might argue with me, and that's fine, but you've got to have attainable goals, okay? I'm not going to do 10 million last year in my business in Dayton, Ohio, and then shoot for 15 million this year. That's not going to happen. And that's not going to happen no matter how good I am or how good of a leader I am or how good I think I am. That is not going to happen. If I say I want to hit 11 million next year, I think that's attainable. And I know I can do that. I can do that. We're going to push hard. We're going to do that. But 15 million. So when I'm coaching and someone's at 300,000 and I go, where do you want to be next year? And they go, we want to be at $1 million. That's going to be pretty hard when you've only been at 200 to 300,000 for the past 3 years. Okay. So can we get you to 400 or 500,000 next year? Yes. Can we get to $1 million? Doubtful. So, what kind of goals you have? Very important. And number 3, a business coach is going to help you stay organized. Not every business owner is extremely organized. And that's why they need a really good assistant to help keep them organized. And it's easy to get overwhelmed with the day-to-day activities. And for some, the day-to-day fires you're putting out. And it's the day-to-day grind, right? And with a business coach, you'll get more structure along with the accountability. And basically, we want to get you, a business coach should want to get you to where your company's running like a well-oiled machine. I mean, it's just ticking away, running. And it's where you sleep better at night. And that's basically what we're talking about, is when you get to your business is running well, you're sleeping better at night. And the majority of companies that call me for business coaching, their business isn't running too well. And that's not the only time you need a business coach. You really need a business coach when everything's running well, so you can keep it running well, so you can get another set of eyes, another set of thoughts on what's going on and how to get you to the next level. And number 5 is marketing ideas. If you've got a good business coach, they're going to help you develop a better marketing plan, branding, advertising, those types of things, especially if they've been successful in the same industry you're in. Now, just so you know, I've coached HVAC business owners, mostly residential, but some light commercial, electricians, plumbers, landscapers, lawn care, roofers, home remodeling, anything in the home service business, very similar stuff, okay? Anyone else who calls me outside of that home service business, I'll pass, recommend someone else. But we know how to market, we know how to brand, and we know how to advertise. If we didn't, we wouldn't have got to number 1, 7 years ago and stayed number 1 the entire time. And there is a difference between getting to number 1 and staying to number 1. They both have their challenges, trust me. Because when you get to number 1, you've got a target on your back, front, side, head, and everywhere else, and everyone's taking shots at you. Trust me. So if you have a good business coach, they'll help you produce a good plan to help your business continue to grow. All I know is, from me, is I did a lot of good things in business that made our business grow from $274 to where we are today. I've hired some smart people, I've had some great coaches, and I've had some really good board of advisors. All I'm doing is sharing. When I coach, I share with what has worked for us and what has worked for other companies I've coached. And in the home industry, we know how to market, we know how to brand, and we know how to advertise, where to advertise, and it's really all about your culture. So I don't take the McAfee approach on these are the shows you need to be on, because the shows that we want to be on are mostly family-oriented, family-friendly shows, and that's our culture. That's our way. So it's not necessarily what I'm going to recommend for you if your culture is different, completely different than ours. So I'm not just taking a blueprint of what McAfee does and saying, here, do this, because that won't work for everyone. A good business coach, number 6, is they give you an unbiased sight. It is just an unbiased sight, because if you ask your employees, if you ask your team, if you ask someone too close to you, you're doing great. That's what you're going to get. You're doing great. You're doing good. You've got a business. You're running it. Very few people can do that. And that's true, but how's it being run, and is it really successful? Okay? So I want an unbiased advice. I want someone to tell me the truth. I want someone to give me some constructive criticism and lay it on me. Matter of fact, in my questionnaire, when you applied for me to be your coach, I basically say, can you take criticism? Do you have broad shoulders? Are you going to get upset if I tell you what you're doing wrong? Because if you are, you're not going to be for me, because I am going to tell you what you're doing wrong. And I am going to tell you in the best way I can what you need to change. That's what a coach should do. I ask a lot of questions, but I'm going to tell you this is what I suggest. Whether you do it or not, it's entirely up to you. I've had people take my advice and run with it and be extremely successful. And I've had people say, no, it's not for me, and fire me right there, and we part. I was going to say part friends, but I don't know. I never hear back from them. We just part, and we go our own way. I wish them well. And I'm not afraid to say that. I get fired for telling people the truth and what they don't want to hear. And I always tell people, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. You hired me as a coach. If you don't want to hear, fire me. All right, number 7, a really good coach should help you build self-confidence, because they're going to help take you to another level of thinking, and another level of doing, and another level of results like you've never seen before. When you're working towards your goals, sometimes it can feel like you're not where you want to be. So a business coach is there to help you see further than you can see, which builds a lot more confidence. And confidence breeds confidence, and confidence will take you to the next level. And confidence got us to number 1. We don't walk around here acting like losers. We're winners. We're all winners on our team. We're a winning team, and we're winning every year. And I know of high school teams that have won their state championship 2 and 3 years in a row. You go in that locker room and you're surrounded with winners. They've got a winning attitude, and that's a good thing. And I want a winning attitude in here. I don't want anybody kicking rocks and be down and weaned on a pickle and all that kind of stuff. We're winners, and we act like winners, because winners act like winners and losers act like losers. So self-confidence is a good thing, and there is a difference between self-confidence and cockiness. Self-confident, you don't have to say a whole lot, okay? We don't advertise we're number 1. We don't have to advertise we're number 1, because it's been proven we're number 1. Number 8, you get a fresh perspective. The reason is, as business owners, including myself, because I still have a business coach, I still have a board of advisors, I still want to improve. I don't like status quo. And I don't like when you're in the weeds of your business, there's too much going on and you can't see past the weeds. I don't like that. I want to get past the weeds. I don't want to overlook the obvious. I want other people to show me, what am I missing here? What do you see that I'm not seeing? What should we do to change? All those types of things. And I want a fresh perspective from new eyes. I've brought people in here and I've paid them, walk through our building for 3 or 4 hours and see if you see or hear anything that's negative or we shouldn't be doing. Go out on a job and see how an installation's done. See how we're running service calls. See how we're reacting to our customers. Do you see anything that needs to change? And number 9, their good business coach is going to help you grow. Bottom line, you're hiring a business coach to get all those 8 things. And by the way, you're not going to get them overnight. It could take months, okay? But bottom line is growth. I mean, I want someone to help me to improve so we can grow more, okay? And that's what happened when I said we were down a few years. I don't like being down. That was not a good feeling to me. And I wanted to know why we were down, and then I needed to change a few things so we could get back up. So perhaps your revenue has remained the same or been down. Maybe you've been flat. And maybe even your salary, your personal salaries took a hit. And remember that for the most part in a small business, the only salary that takes a hit is the owner. We can't, you can't deduct from anyone else's salary. They're not going to stay long. They don't have to stay. They're not obligated to stay. So the only salary that takes a hit is the owner's salary. When something costs you more, when you have to fix something, it only comes out of your bottom line, your salary. And if you're an S corporation, it's definitely coming out of your salary because you're paying taxes on everything. So growth, you just want to grow. And it's obvious. When I hire people, I always set, here's what we're going to do. If at any time you're not happy with me, fire me, I'll give you your money back, and we'll move on. Okay? But I want to see them grow. And I need to know they're growing. I need to know I'm helping. Number 10, differentiation. And everyone says they're different, but very few are doing it correctly. Now, this is strictly my opinion, folks. Strictly my opinion, but in the HVAC industry, there are some very large organizations that coach people, companies, business owners, teams. And for the most part, they do a good job. But what they do is it's a cookie cutter approach. From what I've seen, it's a cookie cutter approach, and they're coaching every company the same. So if I go to company A, they're now running calls like this. They're using this software. They're hiring like this. They're wearing this kind of uniform. They're answering the phone like this. They have an answering service like this. They're sending out invoices like this. And if I go to company B, who's using that same coaching company, cookie cutter approach, identical. And they're in the same area. Are they different? No, they've become the same. And this company, C, same. D, same. So if you want to be different, hire a different kind of coach. Because if you hire that large group, which it is very expensive, I actually had a really good coach. His name was Jerry Duff. Jerry coached, he's retired now, but Jerry coached companies like the president of Chrysler, some high executives in General Motors, coached a lot of big executives, and he was my coach. And there was a large company who were marketing me. They wanted me to go with them, and Jerry was okay with that, but he said, let's interview them and find out what they're going to do for McAfee that we're not doing right now. And we were on the phone with them for probably about 2 hours. And we went line item per line item, and there were only a few things out of a handful that we weren't doing but could do but probably wouldn't do, okay? And we figured it out that, for what we would have to spend to do that, it wasn't of value. But very few people do that. They think it's a large company and there's big companies advertising for them. They jump on board and go. And they don't know why. They just think that's what everybody's doing and that's what I should do. And I don't know. Like I said, it's my opinion, but I just challenge you. If you want to be different, don't join everything everybody else joins. Get out there and do something different. Hire a different kind of coach. Hire a different kind of board of advisors. Follow people in another state who's completely different, doing things different than everyone else around you. So like I said, everybody thinks they're differentiating, but they're not doing it correctly. And the last one here is balance. A good coach will help you balance. They'll help you balance your company. They'll help you balance your time that you put in your company. I've asked business owners that I coach, how many hours do you work a week? And it's kind of funny, but it's not, because I've gotten answers 40 hours a week to 80 to 90 hours. Now, there's a fine balance that you need to work to be successful, yet also have a life and a family. 40 hours is not going to cut it if you're a business owner. Never seen that happen before, especially a business owner who is in the first 10 years of business. Now, granted, there are some guys I know who are extremely successful and can work 40, 45 hours a week now because they have hundreds of people under them who are doing things they no longer need to do. But I'm talking about small business, 50 and under, 50 people and under. 40 hours is not going to cut it. You just cannot continue to grow and put in the time and be successful at 40 hours. If anybody can, give me a call. Let me know. I want to learn. But there's a fine balance between 40 and 80 to 90, okay? And I've had guys say I work 80 to 90 hours a week, 7 days a week. And I've helped them balance their time. First of all, for me, we don't work Sundays unless it's an extreme emergency. So getting off that Sunday, is important to me. And I just challenge them to do the same thing and then reduce their time, per week down. Every company's different and every person's different. I don't have a magical number. How many hours? In today's world, I'm here at 6 a.m. and I typically leave around 5 p.m. And I work a half day Saturday. Unless I have kids in sports and there's a game or something big going on, I work a half day Saturday. It's my choice, but it's by choice. I don't have to be here. I just had open heart surgery. I was off for 5 solid weeks. And for the most part, I could rarely make contact to see how we were doing. I trusted my team. They ran things. They made things happen. So I'm here today by choice. I like being here. I like what I do. But I make a good time for family, and I balance my time, and it works for my family. So the right business coach will teach you how to do that, to live a professional life and a personal life, both, and be successful at both. So just something to think about. And these 11 things we talked about today, why you might need a coach. And remember, if you're making things happen and you're happy with status quo, then you didn't need to listen to this. But before we wrap up today, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Keep listening, because these types of things just help your business grow, help you get to the next level, and help you, as always, sleep better at night. Now, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. Be sure to tune in next week when we talk about what you can learn from the military. In other words, how can you run your company a little bit differently, and what you can learn from the military about running your company. Thanks for listening, and as always, carry on and have a great day.